Welcome to another edition of Action 14. I'm Mike Briggs. We'll be getting information from the school, from the city, and from the arts. Welcome to the show there, Donna.
Thank you very much, Mike.
We have a lot of things happening. Before we start, I want to thank you for the work you put in for the art that was happening throughout the area 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yes, the spring art tour was great.
It was.
We had a great turnout. The artists were happy, and we were very happy to,
So
receive
you're
so
planning
many
it again,
guests.
I hope.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Certainly.
Yes.
Like I said, my wife and I drove down to Random Lake and then went west and north, Batavia, Cascade, and worked our way through all the different art shows all the way back, and we finished our day up at Johnsonville.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and then we also, of course, stopped at the Art Center where you had
Seven artists, yes.
Yeah, it was fantastic. So look at it for next year. I'm already telling you it was well worth the drive, regardless of what the price of gas is.
Next year will be the 9th annual.
Fantastic.
So.
Well, let's talk about what we've got going. You've got something coming up very quickly, more entertainment, and that's Mill Street Live is coming up. It starts on the 24th, and every Friday, starting June 24th all the way to August 5th, every Friday night at 7:30, there will be a show at the Art Center.
Right, you'll have 7 chances to see the show. It's the same show every Friday, but you can come more than once because it's such an entertaining show. You're going to want to see it more than once.
That's the difference of going to a movie or going to a stage production. It's always, yes, it's the same, but there's always something different, a little different because it's live.
Right. Right. It's an exciting evening because the kids are just so energetic and so talented.
Made up of students that are 16 and older, singing, dancing, entertaining.
You're going to have over 90 minutes of music, and we'll have a little break in between so you can go to the bar and have a nice refreshing drink. But overall, it's just, goes by very quickly. So come and rock out with us.
It is $13 for adults and then a bit less for students, children. But for $13 and 90 minutes of entertainment that you get there, it is well worth the cost.
Right. And again, this year we have a few students that are from Plymouth, so I'm sure you'll recognize the names. And we also have our director is from Plymouth, Rosalia Johnson. And this is her second year of directing, and last year she was in the show as well. But this year she's just directing.
Oh, great. It's going to be a great time. Mark your calendars for Friday nights, 7:30 at the Art Center. Another thing coming up we need to talk about is the kids from Wisconsin. The kids from Wisconsin have been here before. They always they play all over the country.
Well, they do primarily in Wisconsin.
Yes, that's what I meant, yeah.
Yeah.
My country is Wisconsin.
Your country, okay. Last year we had them. They performed in Plymouth City Park because of COVID. And this year we're back at the high school.
They'll be back at the Plymouth High School auditorium. It is July 5th, Tuesday, July 5th, starting at 7 p.m. You buy your tickets in advance. That would be my advice. Buy your tickets in advance, and $20 for adults, $14 for youth. And again, you will get, because the band and everything is also involved. They're a fun group.
They are very good. You can get tickets online or at our office, and all seats are reserved. So you're going to want to call early so you get your best seats.
Right.
And it's just a wonderful show. Every year it's very different because every kid has to audition. And we're very pleased to welcome back Bridget Bullard, who was in the show a few years ago, and now she's back in, and Noah Bartelt, who is from Sheboygan Falls. Bridget is from Kohler, so we're adopting them as our hometown kids.
And when you think about the talent that the kids in Wisconsin have, to have some students that are nearby make it to the group, because it's a huge tryout.
It is.
And it's been running for years.
It's a tough show to get into, so we're very proud of the kids.
That again is July 5th, and you can buy your tickets online, but I would advise you go down to the Arts Center, find out the best seats that you want to have for that evening.
Yes, please join us.
It will be good. You will enjoy it.
Continue your 4th of July celebration with us and enjoy the kids from Wisconsin.
That's right, July 5th, down at that is at the high school auditorium, but you buy your tickets at the Arts Center.
We will have tickets available 1 hour before the show right at the high school box office. So, if you don't get them at the Arts Center that day, you can still get a ticket ahead of the show at the box office at the high school.
But you will enjoy it. Mark your calendars now. July 5th, kids from Wisconsin. They've been playing for years throughout Wisconsin.
Over 50.
Yes, and very popular. And they generally will have the possibility of purchasing a DVD or music that they actually play.
Right, and T-shirts and all kinds of memorabilia.
Yeah, you will definitely be worth your time. That is $20 for adults, $14 for the students, and it is July 5th, 7 o'clock here at the Plymouth High School auditorium. Now let's talk about the best thing coming up in August.
Oh my gosh.
You started this back the year that we had a golf tournament.
Yes.
And I was involved in that year, and thinking that let's talk those people from the golf tournament to come to Plymouth. And so you started this thing called the Jazz Crawl. And you found out we don't need the golfers.
We didn't.
We get such a nice crowd here in Plymouth.
Yes, it was such an exciting evening. We had no idea if anybody would even show up. And to our amazement, we packed the house and it's grown. And we kind of have kept it right at about 11 bands right now.
11.
I don't think we have room for more. Maybe we could do 12, but it's 11 bands, 11 live bands, jazz and blues, and we're working at 8 different venues.
Yes.
So,
should I tell them how I do it every
sure,
year?
absolutely.
Every year, because the bands start at 4:30 down at the Arts Center. You'll have one inside and outside. Who starts at 4:30?
Well, we have Chalk Down Trio inside, and that is a local musician. You might recognize his name, Andrew Wilson, and he's put together a really nice combo. And they're going to play from 4:30 to 6 inside. And at the same time, we'll have another band outside called the Gypsy Swing Chicks, and they played with us last year. And they're delightful as well. And so you'll have music right away at 4:30.
Everything starts, the very first group, and everything begins at 4:30 down at the Arts Center. And generally there might be some snacks and food available.
Well, we have Piccadilly catering this year, so we're really happy about that, and we're looking forward to a great meal.
Yeah, so I always go down 4:30, and then sometime between 4:30 and 6, I will get supper at the Arts Center as I'm inside or outside listening to the music and everything to begin.
Yeah, and mostly, I mean, if you don't care for what the menu has to offer at the Arts Center, all the other venues are offering a dinner as well. So, you have plenty of places to choose from.
Absolutely, and let's go through a few things, because at 6 o'clock, you change bands.
We have Mark and Ann Burnell from Chicago, and a very great group. It's a 5 or 6 piece band, and they're coming to us for the very first time, so we're excited to present them.
And they'll be inside.
They're inside. And then outside, we have another new band called Sliphorn, and they're from Madison, and it's Dixieland Jazz.
Oh,
and we know everybody's going to love that.
Yeah.
So
That'll be
fun.
outside.
Outside.
And at the same time, a few things pick up at 6:30 around the area. Let's go through a few of them. At 6 o'clock, the closest to you would be the distillery. Across the street at the distillery, you'll have something that'll start up at 6:30.
That's Jazz and More, and they've been with us for many years, and everybody loves Janice and Joe.
Yep.
Play a great variety, a lot of Ella Fitzgerald, and all the standards.
And then you also have, I guess, next coming up at 6 o'clock at the Fig and Pheasant, you'll have someone playing.
Yeah, Paul Zuckerman's back.
Oh, he is.
With his trio.
He took some time off.
Well, he has played with us with his big band. And then last year he was with us at the Fig and Pheasant, and he's returning there this year. The Fig and the Pheasant loved him, and we loved him, of course, and he's agreed to come back.
And then at 7:30, we have, another one, PJ Campbell at the Depot has a 6:31 Smooth Groove Quartet.
Right, and they're going to be outside if the weather permits, so we'll have them back again.
Yeah, I have been up there, and it is neat outside. Because they'll play underneath the canopy there.
Right.
And there's plenty of room to sit around on the outside. And it's just another outside venue.
Right. Most of all the music is indoors, but if we have a chance to present outside, we will do that. Last year at the Plank Road Distillery, it was outside as well.
Right, right. Now at 7:30, another new one to the game is Billy Bob, not Big Billy, I'm sorry.
It's Big Billy's.
Big Billy's, and that's very close. That's walking distance right across the street from the Arts Center.
Yes,
That
yes.
starts up at 7:30, is it?
And we have a new band. Well, it's not a new band actually, but they put together a quartet. They used to play as a trio, but now they're going to be a quartet. And it's Jive Safely with Fabian Quaymar, and he's adding Malcolm Blakely to the group.
And they'll play starting at 7:30 to 10:30. Now things are getting a little later for me now, so maybe the young group, the younger people can hit these other ones because things get a little bit later. But Antonio's will have a bigger band, and they always do.
Yes, the Blue Olives are playing at Antonio's, and we've had the Blue Olives in the past, and they are just fantastic. You're going to love them.
They start at 8:30, and they'll be going. They start at 8 o'clock and go to 11.
Yes.
And now we just get a little bit later, with the Plymouth Tap.
Yes, Dave Steffen is joining us.
Isn't that something? That's
I
a
know.
new one.
We're really excited about that.
Yeah.
We've been trying to get Dave to play in the Jazz Crawl for years, and he was always booked that evening. He played up north, and it was an ongoing gig for him. And so he said, if you ever have an opening, please let us know. And he was open this year, so
That's great.
We're really,
And
really
so
delighted.
that'll be at the Plymouth Tap, and just up from the Plymouth Tap, we now have the one that goes the latest.
The latest.
And that'll be at Wild Shots from 9 until midnight.
And this is Joe Jordan from Milwaukee, very famous jazz singer in Milwaukee, and he's bringing his group. So
Now, I'm wearing a wristband. They are available, and that wristband will help get you. Are we going to be able to travel? Do I have to walk the whole thing?
no,
Yeah.
no,
I wanted you
actually,
to explain that.
yeah, actually we have our $10 wristband, which is basically a donation
That's right.
to the event, to the Art Center for hosting the event, presenting the event. So it's a donation. If you think about it, it's just your donation.
11
and-
bands for
Right.
$10. I
Yeah.
think we can make the donation.
Yeah, so it's $1 a band,
Yeah.
pretty much. And so you wear the wristband, it shows that you support the event and that you're supporting the Art Center. And then, if you show the wristband, you can hop on that trolley.
There you
So
go.
the trolley is back, and that's going to run from 6:30 to 10:30 this year.
Yeah, from 6:30
So.
to 10:30, it'll be wandering around, and you can just stand out at the end of, outside of the place you are at, just stand outside, you'll see it coming, it'll pull up, you get
Right.
on and go, it'll let you off, it makes a complete round,
Yes.
so you just sit on it until you see the place you want to get off at.
And it's just so much fun riding in the trolley.
Yep.
You have a whole different feeling about the event because it's, you're getting a free ride and.
And I should mention, though, lastly, that there'll be a silent auction going on.
Yes.
There's going to be food and beverages available, obviously, at the Arts Center and at many of the other venues also.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Special sandwiches possibly at many of the other venues also.
yes.
But I think is important, is your silent auction. You'll have many art items, and
Well-
you just put in, or items, not all art either. There'll be
No.
some cheese trays, there'll be many different items that you can just put a price on.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So you start at 4:30, come and put your bid on the items, and then try travel around and come back and check periodically to see
Yeah.
how your bid is doing. But we're going to have cheese boxes, you're right, gift baskets of all sorts, gift certificates, paintings,
Yes.
other art pieces. It's just a great variety of the local businesses are supporting us, and we always get a nice variety of things too.
And the next day, you might get a phone call that says, guess what, you're a winner.
And Mike, I think you got a few last
few.
year.
I've gotten a few, and always good, yes.
Yeah.
So let's go again through our list. First of all, every Friday night, starting at 7:30 at the Arts Center, Mill Street Live is happening. And then on July 5th, it's Kids from Wisconsin here in the high school auditorium. And then the Jazz Crawl, we'll be talking about it next month again, is August 12th, starts at 7:30 down at the Arts Center, and it'll go way past your bedtime.
Yeah, well, at least till midnight.
Yeah, midnight, 12:30 is the latest one, and that's the Wild Shots, at the Wild Shots Pub will be the one
Right.
until midnight, yeah. But
And-
it is something, you will find something you just
Yeah.
love.
I just want to give a shout out to all of our sponsors for all these shows. I mean, we couldn't do these shows without the support of our community
Yep.
and our local businesses because they're just great to us. And especially for the Jazz Crawl, we have the cheese companies,
That's right.
Sargento, Masters Gallery, Sartori Company, supporting us along with Van Horn.
Yep.
And the Cow Country Radio even pitches in.
There you go.
And Kathy and Paul Sartori are helping sponsor
Yep.
on the for the Jazz Crawl this year. And we have a variety. I can't mention them all here, but so many that we're very grateful to
Yep.
them.
Yep, and we have a town the size of Plymouth having an arts center that can put together what we just went through is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yes, well, I wish you the best of luck.
Well, thank you.
Have some fun and mark your calendars, and I'll probably see you at one or two of the events. Thank you.
I just want to mention one more thing.
Yep.
We are going to have a soft opening for a new art show when the Jazz Crawl opens.
Oh.
And it's called Walking on the Wild Side. So it's going to be some wild art, like
Okay.
wild animals and maybe a little, exotic work. But that's going to open that same night. We aren't going to have the artists there. Maybe a few will show up. But then we're going to have an opening reception for the artists the following week on Friday the 19th.
Okay.
So we invite everybody to come back and party with us again.
That's right. There's always something happening and changing at the Arts Center. It really is. You have a great show going on right now that'll
Yes.
go on until August 5th.
Yes.
And it's a great show down there. Stop by the Arts Center and see what changes and what's happening in the beautiful arts of Plymouth.
Thank you.
Thank you. I've got the mayor ready to sit in the hot seat here. We'll have a few things to talk about, maybe a few surprises for you, so stay right with us. You're watching Action 14. It's time to welcome the mayor to Action 14. Welcome aboard.
Thank you, Mike. It's always a pleasure to come and participate in TV 14, and it's really exciting to update our viewers on things out and about the city of Plymouth.
Everything is coming back now. We've had a couple of years where you couldn't count on something. Are we open? Are we closed? But everything is back. We've got music in the park. We've got the pool open. We've got the band shell happening. We've got action happening both Mondays and Saturdays down at the park, at one of the parks, and people are getting out.
They are, and that's one of the wonderful things that Plymouth has going for it with all the different activities downtown. And it's amazing, I think, how popular it is for every group at every level. And that's the beauty, I think, that makes Plymouth the gem that it is. And it causes a little, sometimes, stress on the city's part because, of course, we want people to do it safely, and we want to be proactive in that. And, we're trying to think of safety first, and people have heard me say that for quite a while now. We, of course, visit other communities, and you may have noticed some of these pedestrian crossings with the yellow flashing light on the side, curb side, and some have them overhead. And of course, they're all triggered by either electronic sight and or the button on the post for pedestrians to use. Our biggest problem is the cheapest ones that we've looked at run around $9,000 all the way up to $15,000, and we're looking at 10 different crossings in the city. That's a lot of money.
It is.
And we have only so much money in the budget, so how do we budget correctly in order to do all of this? It's difficult, but quite honestly, I'd gladly spend that money for those types of warning devices so that we're not on the front page of the paper as a statistic. That would kill all of our fun activity that we have in this city. So we're trying to look at how we can pay for that, and maybe it'll come from some federal funding, maybe some state funding. Maybe we have it and pay for it over a couple years and maybe put some money aside. But they're expensive, and anybody that travels anywhere, I was in West Bend, I saw them. I was up at Manitowish a couple weeks ago, and they're there. So you see them no matter where you go, and we do have to think about not only the tourists, but the residents, bikers, people walking around enjoying the weather, whether it's hot or not. And it's just something that we have to
The biggest thing
consider.
is, as you drive through Plymouth, as you drive around, be aware of the people that are on the sidewalks and when they want to cross, and stop for them. Let
Yeah.
them cross. It is by law.
It's state law.
that you-
And slow down a
At a
little.
crosswalk, slow
Yep.
down when you come through downtown, and
Yep.
look for those crosswalks to allow people, we want everybody to be safe.
That's the message we're trying to get out, and I think that answers a lot of problems about safety first.
One of the items that summer brings, it's construction season. I know a few streets already that are difficult to drive through.
Well, and you're right, that's the 5 seasons of the year that we wedge in between things in the summer. And, you know, the good news, you're right, we have a couple streets ripped up. The good news is, you know, it's a block here and a block there. They're not thoroughfares. It's still inconvenient for the people on the block, but we've really not come up with any problems this year because they're more residential confined areas. And we do that principally to obviously update our roads and, you know, the problems that they bring. But we do have an agreement with the DNR to have lead replacements every year, and we started out with almost 800 that we had to replace. That number is now cut in half. Okay. So every year some years we chip away 50 or 60, some years we chip away 120, but you know, we're steadily working on that, and it saves us money in the long run because we're splitting the cost between the utility repairs and the street repairs. So it's a good thing, but it is construction season, and you know, if anybody is sad about not having thoroughfares ripped up, I promise you we'll do a big project next year and bring back that agony real quick.
Oh.
But
at the same time, there's more single lanes again on Highway 23.
Yeah.
I just drove to Madison by way of Highway 23 last Sunday. But you can see completion on the horizon.
It is. I actually was with the governor this week, and we're looking at possibly before Labor Day having 23 about 95% open. Depending on the weather, they are just going gangbusters. And you're right, it's looking very good. The Fond du Lac segment is the one that's really going to be different, but that is going to make travel so much easier going west. So we're very satisfied with it, and I think that it'll help us in many ways.
It is planned to have it completed by the end of this year.
Well,
At this point, it looks like they can.
They can, funds are there, and we're hoping for Labor Day. If it runs into September, that's okay, because getting it finished is the important part.
Where are we in the Fire and Police Commission? A new chief possible in the future?
Well, the Fire and Police Commission by state law is a separate commission that I appoint members to it, but it holds its own process of having officers selected for the police department, and especially the chief of police. And we work with them through our HR as far as the pension, insurance, wage portion of things so that we budget properly in it. But that's something that the police commission does on its own, independent of any influence from the elected officials, which is a good thing. And I'm told that there's 5 candidates. They're bringing them in possibly this week and next week for interviews. They're hoping to have someone, I'm told, to be selected and submit the name for council approval. And basically, we're not going to say no because that's just a process we go through. But we look at the parameters that the contract is offered because it has to fit within our budgetary needs. But they're hoping to have that chief selected and on the department payroll by the middle of August, maybe Labor Day, which of course Labor Day is
Fair time.
Fair time, and we need every officer we have and then some because Plymouth has quite a population boom over the fair.
Yep,
So that's really good news. We're looking to get up to speed on that, and so they're coming along real good.
And last Saturday night, I could hear him again, so racing has begun again.
Oh, it is hot and heavy, and all summer that attracts people to the community, but certainly the culmination is the end of the year and the county fair.
Yep, and the county fair, it'll be county fair time before you know it.
Oh,
Things
yeah,
are happening so quickly.
let's not rush it. I still want to be at all the summer events downtown, so don't, we got to have those first, and then
Yeah.
we'll have the county fair.
Every Thursday night there's something, every
Yep.
Friday night there's something, and they've added a Saturday music in the park. There's things happening all the time in Plymouth.
It's tremendous how many different activities occur, and no matter what type of music you like, you'll find it.
Oh, yes.
It's really interesting.
And that's
yeah.
why we do need the police chief on, to be hired to get everything.
Absolutely.
And as many people badged up by fair time.
Yeah, and I'm told that it's out-of-town selection. So that's as much as I know, so I don't have
all right.
any secrets.
Well, no, in fact, you are not part of the hiring.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely,
The city council is not part of it.
nope. This is all done by the police commission, and that's the way it should be, because then there's no influence over it.
But one thing that is part of it, I've heard a rumor that we might have a new city administrator hired before too long. Am I correct with my rumor?
You have very good sources, Mike. Yes.
Yes?
I can confirm that this week we did make an offer to a gentleman that is currently the assistant village administrator in Whitefish Bay.
Okay.
Timothy Blakesley,
Okay.
I believe
Yep.
is his name. And he will be joining us by August 1st.
Okay.
So that selection was made, and he's done a good job in Whitefish Bay. We went through a very long process,
Yes.
of course, and he lives in Port Washington, so he's not that far away from us, and he's familiar with the administrative process of things to go. And he's accepted our tender offer. I've signed it, so we're looking forward to having him on board very quickly. And Kathy Austin has done a remarkable job. She just pitches in whenever she wants, and she's very excited to give up those duties because it's a lot of work.
Yes.
Plus doing her own job, which is full-time on top of it. So she's excited, and at the same time, our staff was involved in the hiring process. Look forward to having the gentleman on board, and I'm excited about it because now I don't have to do part of the budget work myself. So there's a lot of pluses to this side of the equation.
Did you mention to him, however, that he might have to be on TV 14 once in a while?
Well, I said we do have a local TV station, a very grueling, hard-nosed interviewer. We'll try to prep you as much ahead of time, maybe put on a couple shoulder pads and a helmet. No, I think he's looking forward to it. Married, has a couple kids, and I think he'll be a very good fit for the community.
Yep, good. I'm glad it's been a long time process. Let's hope it all works out and we see him in August.
We will.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Good.
Well, I want to thank you for
You're
being
welcome.
on. I should mention to everybody that the city council meetings are the second and last Tuesday of every month down at City Hall, starting at 7
7
p.m.
o'clock, yep.
And you should be part of what's happening. You can watch it on TV 14, certainly afterwards, but be part of what's happening in the city. Find out how everything works and be part of what's happening.
We're always interested in knowing what our residents have on their mind and tell us.
Yep.
Thank you.
And right now, we'll take a short break, and when we come back, I'll have Superintendent Dan Mella next to me, and we'll be talking about getting ready for the next school year already. Goodness. Stay right with us. You're watching Action 14. Welcome back to Action 14. I have with me now Superintendent Dan Mella. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Mike.
We have many things happening throughout the course of our school district. It's summer, yes, but many of the important things getting ready for next year already are happening right now.
Yeah, if you drive past any of the school buildings, you'll see cars parked,
Yes.
You'll see construction, you'll see deliveries. So, yeah, during the school year, we're focused on kids and their education and using the materials or the resources that we typically pick up in summertime and learn.
And we have some very specific, serious cleaning going on this year.
Yes. In fact, that's why our summer school is over at Riverview. Typically, summer school is at the high school, and then some of the younger grades, kindergarten readiness is at our school Horizon.
Yep.
And this year, we decided, it was actually a suggestion from our custodial maintenance staff, that we try to rotate our summer school offerings so that our cleaning crews can get in and do a real good deep cleaning of places like the high school or Horizon. So it's not always those buildings that might get the short end of the stick in terms of
Yep.
cleaning.
Yep.
So we went along with that, and this year summer school is over at Riverview, and fortuitously, this is the year that we were able to do some work on the HVAC, the fan system in the pool area here at the high school. So it all worked out well because we wouldn't have been able to use the pool for our typical summer school swimming lessons anyway.
And you've got some things being tore up outside the building here. That's moving along quite nicely.
Yeah, they started ahead of schedule. When was the last time you heard that?
Yeah, but they've already put wire, we're talking about the football field. We've already got wiring underground across underneath the track. And now they're putting in piping for drainage and
Yeah, just readjusting some of the drain tile that's there. And the main thing was scraping off all the topsoil. And now what goes on top of that is just some stone and sands and engineered materials so that the turf field sits like it should. And they've also cut out the sections of track that had the dips in it from our drainage issues. And pretty soon, they'll strip off the old surface of the track. So when people come for football and soccer games, and by the way, varsity soccer and JV soccer is planning to use that field and get under the lights this fall as well. So if we have a chance to see that, it'll be wonderful. But you'll notice that the track isn't, the surface of the track is not on.
Yeah.
Because it's just getting stripped now, and they'll put it on a little bit later in the fall. Something to do with temperatures and things. So
yeah, so it's going to look great when it's done.
it is.
It is, and again, none of the football field, none of it is taxpayer money.
Correct.
It's
Donated, and you'll see there are going to be a couple of sponsors sprinkled around their signage around the field and on the field, some logos and things.
Yep.
So people can look forward to seeing that, the people that paid for the turf surface.
Yep, it's going to be great when it's done.
Yep.
Yes. Well, let's talk about some things that have gone past here. Let's first of all, graduation. You had me worried in the morning. We were setting up the morning of graduation in the high school, in the gym.
Yep.
And then we no more than got it set up and working. I get the phone call. Nope, we're going to still try to do it in the park. You put it off an hour and a half. Instead of a 2 o'clock graduation, it was 3:30, and it cleared, and you got it in.
Yeah, whoever knew that you had to also have a weather person on staff? But yeah, we've tried over the years to keep it outside so many people can see it. And the reason for that is, first of all, the park is a beautiful setting. But second of all, everybody that wants to come can come and bring their own chair, sit out there in the grass, under the shade, and watch. And you don't have to limit seating. That's the issue about when you come indoors.
Right.
You have to potentially limit seating, and so especially for large families or split blended families, those kinds of things, it starts to become problematic. And so out in the park is really nice just for the access for everybody. And so we try to keep it out there. So this year we saw that there was a potential little gap in the clouds moving in over from Mauston. And we thought, if that gets here and the trajectory stays the same, we might be okay. Maybe a little sprinkle. We would still have it if it was a little sprinkle. But it actually cleared completely up, and we were able to get it in. A funny story about that, and people don't know, is we had one of the speakers in.
Yes.
We made the call, and we think everything's fine to go to 3:30 instead of 2. And one of the speakers that had 2 parts, speaking parts in the graduation, the parents called right away and said, she has to leave at 3:45 to catch a plane for a mission trip to Africa.
Yeah.
So there wasn't any kind of leeway there, and it was no fault of anybody's. I mean, but their flight had, like all flights, their flight had been changed, and so ultimately she was able to do her part. She got her diploma, and off she went.
Immediately drove off. Yeah.
There she goes to her activity. So it turned out great. We had 270 plus students participate in graduation. In the end, we'll probably have about 290 that actually graduate. Not all kids choose to go through the ceremony. That's their prerogative as well. So it was a great day in the park, and it was nice and cool. So that was a plus. And we got it in, and it was wonderful. So
it went out live on, and you can actually see it on YouTube right now. You could go and watch it. It went good speakers, all went well. glad it's done.
Great. Well, we put people through the ring, our custodial staff and the technical
yeah,
staff.
yeah.
And, you know, getting the
speakers
everything
and the wires
set
and the
wire.
microphones,
We ended up having to do a double setup and take it down.
Yeah.
And we added a lot of work to people, but I think it was well received, and people were pretty flexible with
Yep.
things.
I also want to mention that the Memorial Day parade happened, and it wasn't a very long parade because we haven't had one for a couple of years. But the band was in it, did a nice job of marching, and I want to thank Corey and the band for being part of the Memorial Day parade and bringing it back.
Yep, they always do a nice job.
It was nice. And let's talk about something about the choir going to New York in 2023. It's more than just a trip to go somewhere. They're actually in a competition.
Right.
In March of 2023, they'll be going.
Yes. So on the agenda that we had for the board meeting, all our travel out of state has to be approved by the board. And so this is a trip going to New York. And it's going to be going in March of 2023. And it is either the third or fourth in a sequence of competitions that the choir has been in over the course of the last 12 or so years, where they take a trip, they go compete, they are given an exemplary level ranking, they move on, they get invited back a couple years later.
To compete at a higher level.
To compete at a higher level. And again, that happened again, and then they get invited back to again compete at another higher level. But then COVID interrupted things. And so the competition that they're intending to go to next year has been put off for a number of years. And it's in New York, and I was at one of their competitions a few years back, and they sing in those marvelous, huge cathedrals on the outside of Central Park, and the acoustics in there are unbelievably echoey, and the choirs just sound fantastic.
Yep, they're looking forward to it, and it's a great competition for our students to go through.
Right, it is, and our kids do a great job.
Again, talking about summer, we have a lot of people, a lot of our staff involved in many activities in the summer.
Yep.
And in many different areas of reading, writing, math, etc., getting together and discussing and always trying to make another step forward.
That's right. Like we said earlier, we don't have students right now, but what we do is we have teams of teachers. For example, today we had a team of about 25 elementary through middle school teachers, our reading specialists, along with some classroom teachers, who are rewriting our sequence of curriculum, leveling up our expectations for kids in writing. And so they're looking at their resources, they're looking at the multiple different opportunities that are out there for training, and they're making a nice package of improvements for all the teachers from kindergarten through 8th grade. So, and they're going to be at it all summer. Today they were in the high school area, but some are online. Other times they may be in other buildings. So if you drive past our buildings on any given day, there could be the writing team in one place. There could be the math team in another place. And then they're all different disciplines. You'll see people in working and prepping for the following school year. So professional development is always going on.
Right.
So people improve their craft over the course of summer.
Because obviously things change. Whether it's news, the way you get your news now has changed dramatically. So the way you prepare your students changes also.
Absolutely. There's math hasn't changed a ton.
They haven't added any new numbers that I know.
No new numbers, but the way kids are learning things can be different, given now technology is different. Expectations have changed over the years. In the sequence of events, it was fairly uncommon in the old days for kids to get much algebra down into the 6th and 7th grade. Now that's part of the spiraling curriculum. So things change all the time, and so do our teachers. You know, we have people that get married and move, or we have teachers retire. We have people that have a life event and they leave. We hire new people.
Yep.
So some of that PD is also getting our newer teachers on board with the activities that we are and the resources that we already use.
Right, and Plymouth may do things a bit differently in a different order than another school may do. And that's why the new teachers, even if they have some background experience, need to be part of this.
Right, absolutely. And that's and our teachers and principals do a great job of recruiting the other teachers, because people don't all live right in Plymouth. They live in, many surrounding communities, so they come in on a regular basis, and our veteran staff do a nice job of pulling in our younger staff.
Now, lastly, things are also busy around here because we have a lot of summer camps going on.
Right.
There's
right.
basketballs being bounced right now in the gym.
It's full go every day at most of our facilities with summer camps and, of course, summer school. There's a couple of new activities for kids just getting fit. And then, of course, there's community ed that uses the facilities on into the evenings. So at any point during the day, you could walk into most of our buildings and find something going on where the community is actively in here, kids are actively in here, working and learning and growing or getting in shape or just having fun.
Yeah, there'll be basketball going on at the high school in the gym. You go over to Parkview in the gym and it's pickleball.
Yeah.
That's community ed doing an activity in the gym at Parkview. I just set that up so the person running it could get in at the hours that they want to have pickleball fun.
Yeah, sometimes you see them over at Generations, they'll have outdoor pickleball, but what happens if it rains?
Yeah.
They need to, some
And
alternate.
obviously it's becoming so popular, they want more areas to play.
Well, and that was one of our considerations when in our previous referendum, one of the items was the new gyms at Fairview and Parkview, and the fact that we resurfaced the old gym at the high school. All of them got pickleball lines.
Yeah.
And pickleball standards. So they can play pickleball in any one of those places now, and the community loves pickleball.
Yep, and the community ed is the ones you contact about when, how, what times.
Yep, exactly.
But we're very busy all summer. It just seems like when the students leave, something else moves in and we go right back at it.
Yeah, today is the summer solstice, June 21st, and I feel like we're going to have kids back in here in major ways when sports start the 1st of August.
Yep.
So we really have a month left.
Yep.
So we got to get working.
We've got to get going. And we've got, we're changing many of the classrooms to a different mode, from smart boards to television screens, touch screens. Things are changing throughout the district.
Yeah, the tech department is extremely busy this summer.
It is.
How many total?
126.
Yeah, and that's dismounting, mounting, rolling in, training. That's another thing that people have to learn, the systems. And so, yeah, it's busy.
We'll be busy. Well, I certainly want to thank you for being on.
Well, thank you.
When we come back next month in July, we will be ready for football practice.
Basically, here we go.
Yep, here we go. Thank you again.
Yep.
And I want to thank you all for watching. Until I see you next time, we'll be seeing you on the radio. Bye-bye.